Okay, so you shared this source with us. It's this transcript excerpt called As Above, So Below from the Tennessee Reaper YouTube channel. Pretty intense stuff.
It really is. And right away, you get this sense of a huge journey. It's not just, small changes. It's a fundamental shift.
Yeah, like from a life that sounds incredibly hard, violent even, towards something else.
Something deliberately chosen.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, we really want to unpack that, pull out the story here, the struggle, the resilience, and this kind of complicated balance the speaker seems to have found.
And that title, As Above, So Below, it feels like a key, doesn't it? Maybe hinting at how the internal state and the external reality are linked.
Or how the past shapes the present, maybe. Let's get into it.
Definitely. The past described here is, well, it's incredibly raw.
No kidding. Phrases like violence incarnate, living somewhere you had to lose to see right, needing a hand on the burner just to feel safe. I mean, that image.
It's chilling. It tells you everything about the level of threat, the constant danger.
And things like burying friends, seeing death firsthand, having to bite bullets just to feed their kid. It wasn't abstract.
Not at all. You really get the sense of someone forced to be a wolf out the gate, just purely for survival.
Right. But then there's this turning point, and it feels like it comes from within, not some big outside event.
That's what's really striking, I think. The change seems sparked by looking in the mirror, seeing enemies inside, seeing their own reflection with a murderous pride.
Wow. So it's a confrontation with the self first.
Yeah. It suggests the violence wasn't just about survival. It had become part of their internal landscape, reflected back at them.
And that leads to choosing love, the text says.
It does, but it's immediately clarified. It's not weakness. It's because they'd seen what a monster becomes when it speaks. It's like seeing the end point of that path.
So the choice comes from understanding the alternative, from a position of maybe hard-won strength.
Precisely. It connects to that line in the source about heaven and hell inside us. They've seen the hell clearly.
Okay, so they choose peace, but the source makes it very clear this isn't soft. They say they're calm now, but their silence ain't sweet.
Yeah, this is where that idea of peace with teeth really comes through for me. The warning is explicit. Don't confuse growth with the loss of teeth.
That capability, the hardness forged in the past, it's still there.
It hasn't just vanished. And the imagery reinforces that constantly.
Like blades still close, rats still sharp. Even the phrasing, pray for my foes, then aim at their neck, or having a 30 cal voice.
It's peace. Yeah, but it's peace built like a temple on top of pain. Not erasing the pain, but building from it.
Transforming it. Pain into peace, rage into gold. It sounds like an active, ongoing process.
Very active, and it's framed almost like a truce. A truce with life, maybe, an effort to break cycles.
But it's a truce with clear boundaries. Don't test it.
Definitely don't test it. So they talk about having the darkness under control, but they forgot that code. There's a sense that if pushed...
they can revert to that zone.
And that line. If death shows up at your door, it won't be silence that knocks. It's a stark reminder of the capacity that's still there. Just managed, leashed.
So thinking about this whole journey, what does it tell us about transformation after something so intense? About what strength even means?
Well, it really pushes back against simple definitions, doesn't it? Peace isn't just, niceness or the lack of fighting. Here, it's dynamic. It's about managing that internal landscape, holding that past capacity under control.
Strength isn't about pretending the past didn't happen, but integrating it, redirecting that energy.
I think so. It's less about erasing and more about finding this really profound, maybe even fragile balance.
Yeah, fragile feels right sometimes.
And the source really highlights that tension, leaving the violence behind, but knowing it shaped you, knowing the capability is still part of who you are, even while you're actively choosing peace.
Which brings us to the end of the text. Those lines about let it go. Repeatedly.
Right. But considering everything else, the blade, the code, the darkness under control.
It makes you wonder, can you truly let go of something like that?
Or is keeping it under control the only realistic path? That seems to be the core question the source leaves us with.
And what does that imply for any of us trying to change, to move on from our own difficult past? Something definitely worth thinking about after diving into this.